battery. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala barik Muhammad. Allahumma rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Amma ba'd, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. قال الله تعالى إن تجتنبوا كبائر ما تنهون عنه نكفر عنكم سيئاتكم وندخلكم مدخلا كريما. My respected brothers and my sister in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the homework to do so that when we die, we become successful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking to the believers that if you avoid the major sins, then I will forgive the saghair, the small sins. May Allah be pleased with all of us. You see, my respected brother, it is good to know what is the sin, what are the saghair, small sin, and what are the kabair, the major sin. What has the effect of these things in our life, and as far as we are concerned for the hereafter, what will happen to us. We are not, a free bird in this life. We are under the surveillance system. It's not that whatever we can do, we do, and whatever we cannot do, we cannot do. This is not the case. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this life for a purpose. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to guide us. He has sent down the prophets, and to you and me, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our guide. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further give us Al-Quran, the book of wisdom, which is our constitution. So, if the believers, they follow the instruction of the Quran and the teachings of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they will never go astray. But the problem comes that we do not just follow these teachings what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do. So that's why we get a lot of things, which should not happen to us. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is teaching to the believers, and that also mentioned in the Quran, that when a person commits a sin, so let me explain to you what sin means that before I go further. Sin, by definition, anything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to do, and we are not doing it. And anything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us not to do, and we do it. And then Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has asked us certain things to do, which is nothing but the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, further explanation by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he has asked us to do certain things, and we don't do. And on the other side, same thing. So many things Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asks us, don't get involved to that. Do that, and we do that. So we are transgressor. So, according to the scholars, all those things where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the warning, or any punishment is attached with that action, that is a major sin. And anything, it is saying, Ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased with these activities, that is also a sin. And all those indecent things, which are generally, in general public, people don't like that to happen, that is also a sin. Nobody wants to be robbed, nobody wants that his money should be stolen, he should be disgraced and this and that. So all this is come into the category of the sin. However, there are some major sin mentioned in the Quran, and there is the one famous hadith of Imam Bukhari also that is saying the 7 categories come under the major sins. However, this is the Imam Shamsuddin Zahabi Rahmatullah has written a book, 467 pages on the subject of the sin. And his book name is called Al-Kabair. According to him, the major sins are not 7. The 7 sins they say is, the number 1 is the shirk Akbar, shirk asghar, killing somebody, and you see eating somebody's property, orphans' properties, and you see then you accuse some lady for some falsehood she has never done it, and doing the magic and eating or dealing with the interest. So anyway, according to Imam Shamsuddin Zahabi Rahmatullah, the sins are, more than that what mentioned in this hadith. He's counting 82 sins, major sins. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is telling to you and me, any time a believer commit a sin, so one black dot come to his heart. I'm talking about the spiritual heart. The physical heart is going on because this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's system that these things go on till he is living. So on a spiritual heart, one black dot comes into that. If he repents to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seek Allah's forgiveness, then that, darkness is removed from his heart. And if so happen that he does not repent, he does not do any good hasanat during that time, so, and in the meanwhile he commits another sin. So another black dot comes to his heart. So much so that the entire heart is filled up that. That's a piece of meat which is should be clean all the time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, Kalla barrana ala qulubihim ma kanu yaksibun. That now the heart has become pitch dark. So what happens now? So the scholars are saying that at this time when heart has become full of sins, it's pitch dark now. So any effect of the hadith or the Quran does not affect him. So because unless he repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and clean himself, so he has, blocked all those things, which are beneficial to the mankind, beneficial to the human beings. So may Allah be pleased with all of us. This is the thing, as a believer, we must know that what are the sins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to do, to stop. Don't get involved with that. So I thought it is very, very strange, for you and me, and on practical life we see that at the age of 14 or 15 years, we see we graduate from high school. And if somebody wants to become a professional, we're going to become doctor or engineer or any attorney or something, another 10 years he has to spend to get the education, to get to that level. So in general, 25 to 26 years at least, this period is gone, to acquire the rest of the life in peace. We are looking, all these degrees and all this knowledge is that, the rest of the life, 20 years or 25 years, Allah knows the best how much time He has written for each one of us. That becomes, peaceful and comfortable. But at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding to you and me that the one day of Qiyamah, the one day of the Akhirah is 50,000 years, one day. And then whosoever has successful, done the success in this life, he has pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he is in the paradise forever. He is in the paradise forever. And otherwise, he's go to the hellfire. So as a believer, it is important for all of us that we know this is not, as I say, that you see, it's not an option. It's not an option to do or what not to do. Imam Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, and Imam Ibn Hanbal, Rahmatullah, has mentioned this hadith, that according to them, if a person is performing his farais, and after that he avoids the sins, he does not do any optional activities, you see, then he is the successful person. He is the most righteous person. What they're saying is that many of us, we do a lot of optional things. You see, I'm talking about to keep the farai, but many people, you see, go for Umrah, for Hajj, for Nawafil, for Tahajjud, recitation of the Quran and Azkar and Tasbihat. Otherwise, they are good. Nothing wrong with that. It will, become more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They help us. But at the same time, they do not leave the sins. They are still doing on a daily basis the sins which are, you see, causing their heart to be blocked. And you see, the scholars are saying here that all those optional activities he is doing, obviously when we do something like this, we feel that we are getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we will be rewarded for that. But what the scholars are saying here, that this person will never get the deliverance in the hereafter, because he's doing his own, thinking. He's following his own desires. So he's not following the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not following the Quran and the teachings of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's why they emphasize that if we want to become close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we must, after performing the faraid, we must stop sinning, which is hurting us. So, it is said that, my respected brother, the person, he does not do any other things except the farais, but he is a straight person. He doesn't indulge here and there. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked him to do, that is in his life. And as a matter of fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this is one of the very famous hadiths, if somebody loves me in this dunya, what the loves mean here is that if you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will not do anything which will displease him. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enter him into the paradise. And the same, with the meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if somebody have the fear from me, and because of my fear that I may become angry or he may get punishment from me, he does not do any wrong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَىٰ. The person who lives a life that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me, I cannot do this thing. Yes, I feel some enjoyment here. Some I can have a fun here. But the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is don't do that and you stay away from it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if that happens, if person have the fear, if he's fearing me in this life, I will keep him away from the hellfire. This person will not go to the hellfire. Another, in the combination of both of these, what I mentioned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, the one who has the modesty in him, that he has the haya from me, that I don't want that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my watcher. You see, he is watching me, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if somebody lives a life like this, he has a haya and modesty from me, and because of that, he do what has to do, and he stay away what he has to be staying away, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if this person has any wrongs on his shoulder, so I will let the Karam and Katibin to forget about everything. I will make his slate clean. This is what it means, you see. In tajtanibu kabaira ma tunhauna anhu nukaffir ankum min sayyatikum wa nudkhilukum mudkhalan karima. Here, the mudkhalan karima means the paradise. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the Quran to you and me, my respected brother. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the story of Iblis to us? See, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the story of Adam alayhi salam to us? He make one wrong. Aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. You see, he disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he didn't repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we all know what happened. He was so close, you see, to all the angels. Jibreel to salam and Iblis, you see, they were close friends. But now he is rejected. So he is on the other side. The curse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on him. And my respected brother, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning to you and me the story of Bani Israel in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَلَمَّا عَطَوْا أَمَّا نُهُوا عَنْهُ قُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا كِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. What it means is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the Bani Israel, that people that do not do the fishing on Saturday. But they were very, very clever people, you see. So we will not do that on fishing on Saturday. On Friday night, they have made a lot of, you see, small ponds, you see, and they open those ponds, you see, the water of the river will come to those ponds, lot of fish will come. At the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down lot of fish on Friday. Because this is a test here. It is a test here. So they play the trick with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling to you and me, Surah Al-Araf, you see. So, فَلَمَّا عَطَوْا أَمَّا نُهُوا عَنْهُ قُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا كِرَةً خَاسِئِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them monkeys. So 5 days or 6 days they live, after that they finish. Their faces become monkey. What we see the monkey today, they are not the span. They are different species. So all of them finish over there. Why? Because they disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, my respect, this is the effect of the sin on our daily life. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning to you and me the story of Nuh alayhi salam. You see, Nuh alayhi salam, you see, he was given the long life. For 950 years he preached to the people that come to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and obey him. Preach and preach and preach, and we all know 80 or 82 people, you see, they become the Muslim. Rest of them rejected, you see. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning to you and me, وَغَرَقْنَا الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا عَمِينَ. So the scholar have raised the question that Ameen means that they become blind. The whole nation is blind. So the scholar are saying it is not, the whole nation was not blind. Yes, maybe few people here and there could be blind. But what here mean by blind is their heart has become blind. The heart has become, you see, hard. It's not getting the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they rejected the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's what happened to them. They got the punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life, and the hereafter the punishment will be also again over there. So my respected brother, this story, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just not mentioning that you and me have the more vocabulary and to know. You see, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to you and me the story of the Ad, the nation of the Ad. And then he mentioned the story of Qawm Samud, the nation of Samud. They were very strong. The nation of the Ad, it is said they, at the age of 300, they become the adulthood. And they were those strong, you see, they can uproot the big tree, just like we can pick up the blade of grass. And they used to call, you see, each other. They used to challenge, Man ashaddu minna quwwa. Who's more stronger than us? Who's more stronger than us? So they rejected the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And similar happened to the Samud, you see. Samud, you see, the nation of Samud, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a strong wind to the nation of the Ad. And we all know what happened. All the houses and all of them, they finished over there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to you and me in the Quran, Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi'ad, iramazat al-imad, allati lam yukhlaq misluha fil bilad, wa thamud alladhina jabu sakhra bilwad, wa fir'auna dhil awtad. You see? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling, Inna rabbaka labil mirsad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. It's not that He has created and then He has left. Whatever you do is okay. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see, finished the Ad. The nation of the Ad finished over there, and they were finished just like the dead bodies everywhere over there. Think about it. The big, huge trees, they are taller than the huge trees. Their average life was 600, 700, 900 years. This was their average life. So when the punishment comes, they are dead like this. So the nation of Samud come after that. So they say, the nation of Ad were destroyed because of the wind. We're gonna made our houses inside the caves, inside the mountains, because the wind will not affect over there. There is no effect of us on the wind. So think about it. At that time, building a house inside the mountain, how much brain and how much power they have it. So what happened? We all know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them a different punishment over there. See, one angel screamed so hard, all of them, their hearts become dead. You see, my respected, it is the lesson for you and me. It is the lesson for you and me to learn from this Quran. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the story of the Lut alayhi salam, the gay rights. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning the story in the Lut alayhi salam is giving a description. You see, that they, instead of using the woman, they go toward the different side. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them such a punishment, not a single nation before that was punished. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the two young people came to Ibrahim alayhi salam, that is mentioned in the Quran. So Ibrahim alayhi salam has the habit that he will not eat, you see, unless the guests have eaten. So, and also he has the habit that he always treats the guests, you see. So when they come over there, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see, has given a soft heart. So he sacrificed one lamb and roasted them and bring over there in front of them. And they are not eating. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, you see, وَهَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ إِذْ دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَقَالُوا السَّلَامَ قَالَ سَلَامٌ قَوْمٌ مُنْكَرُونَ فَجَاءَ بِعِجْلٍ سَمِينٍ فَقَرَّبَهُ إِلَيْهِمْ قَالَ أَلَا تَأْكُلُونَ فَأَوْجَسَ مِنْهُمْ خِيفَةً قَالُوا لَا تَخَفْ وَبَشَّرُوهُ بِغُلَامٍ عَلِيمٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see, Ibrahim and bring the roasted meat in front of them, so they are not eating. And Ibrahim got scared. Maybe they are my enemies. They maybe want to do something to me. He say, oh Khalilullah, do not get fear. We are angels. We are angels. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you the glad tidings that you are going to get Ishaq, the son. And then we are appointed to destroy the nation of the Lut. And he was, Lut alayhi salam was Ibrahim alayhi salam's cousin, you know. You see, his uncle's son. So he say, my nephew over there, what will happen to them? He say, don't worry. We will ask him to leave the town before we start the punishment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, قَالَ فَمَا خَطْبَكُمْ أَيُّهَا الْمُرْسَلُونَ إِنَّا أُرْسِلْنَا لِقَوْمٍ مُجْرِمِينَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them the stone over there. It is said that the rain of the stone came on them, and each stone has their name written on the person is going to hit them. Is going to hit them. So, my respected brother, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending? Jibreel alayhi salam came and entire the valley of that, you see, 70, 80, mile long, you see, it is said the Lut alayhi salam has the three, you see, counties or three cities to work on. Or some of the scholars are saying that he is working on the four cities and 4 locations. Each has the population of over 100,000. So all those, see, 400,000 or 300,000, whatever it is, Jibreel alayhi salam picked them up with the tip of his, you see, wing, and took him all the way up to the first heaven and then flipped them. And flipped them over there. You see, all with everything you can imagine. The houses, the belonging, the animals and everything. Just like that. It's nothing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is nothing but the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it flipped them over there. And then after that, they have the rain of the stones. And you see, even today we can see the Dead Sea, which is at the border of the Jordan and the Israel over there. They are, you see, 400 meters down the surface of the ocean. That's the lowest portion on the earth over there. And no animal is over there. No fish can survive over there. It is the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to you and me the story of Shuaib alayhi salam. This qawm, they were very, good businessmen. My respected brother, it is said when they take the stuff, just like we want, you see, that we should get more stuff with our good price. And you see, when they give back to the people, they don't have the weights and measurement. They always, you see, give them short. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursing also in the Quran, وَوَيْلُ لِلْمُتَفِّفِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْطَوْفُونَ وَإِذَا قَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ. You see, what is the curse here? That these people, you see, when they take their rights, they want the full rights should be given to them. But when they have to pay their rights to the other people, they don't pay the full rights. So this is the nation of the Shuaib mentioned, and also any merchant come over there. So they will take the sample from him. We need a sample or something. He thought that he will also, they are going to buy. He's interested, but they will never come back. So this way they deplete his stuff like this. So anyway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning in the Quran to you and me, oh the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do not get involved into these sins. My respected brother, why the Firaun was drowned? Why the Firaun? Everything he has it. All the power and everything, Allah will give it to him. And Musa salam, Harun salam is telling him again and again, that fear Allah. Do not have the zulm on the Bani Israel. But he doesn't stop. I'm sorry. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the story of Firaun to you and me in the 28th chapter. Why he was destroyed, why he was punished. Because of my respected brother, they disobeyed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They disobeyed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, finished them. So my respected brother, it is said, it's a very long subject. All I'm saying is, may Allah be pleased with all of us. We have to know what my homework is. What are the sin which is going to harm me? What are the sin I must avoid it? My brother, we are living a life, and we don't care about. Many people come for the prayer. And Mother, Jasa was mentioning that many people come to the prayer, but they don't dress properly. They don't dress properly. So this is not right, because once in a while you come here, we present ourselves. From my perspective, anyway. So it is said that the people who keep away, from the sins, these are the people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes them. Ibn Masud radiallahu ta'ala is saying that if you keep the farais, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put on your shoulders. He has given you the farais to do, and we should know what are the farais on me. We know only the ibadat person. Then he is saying that you was the most righteous person. Then he's saying the second thing, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us, the haram, that do not get involved into that. We should keep ourselves away from all the haram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned. Then he's saying that you become the most muttaqi. You know what muttaqi means? The person who has a taqwa in heart. And he is most, obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he's saying what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Imam Masud is continuing, he's saying what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you and me. If we are contented with it, we are satisfied with it, we do the shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you become the more generous person. You are the most contented person. My respected brother, these are the few things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to do. We can live a life the way we want, but take care for the rights of the people. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned, Imam Bukhari is mentioning that the two women were mentioned to Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They asked the question, the Sahaba Karam asked the question. The one woman is doing, after the farais, she doing so much optional thing. She do azkar, she do the tasbihat, she do the sadaqah also. But her neighbors are not happy. She has a very, bad characteristics. Her tongue is not under control. And many people, they get hurt because of her. And the second woman, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was mentioned, O Prophet of Allah, the second, our neighbor, the lady only performed the farais, but she does not do any optional thing. But she is very good in conduct. Her character is very good. People are happy with us. So tell us, who is better? Who is better? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, the first lady you mentioned, she will end up in the hellfire. And the second lady you mentioned, she's only keeping the farais and having akhlaq, and the conduct is good, so she will end up in the paradise. So everything is clear, my respected brother. It is said, my respected brother, that Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah has mentioned one story. When the Kisra was fall down, and when the Sahaba Karam had a victory over there in their city and all, they conquered everything. So Jubair bin Nufair radiallahu ta'ala came to Abu Darda and he's crying. He said, Abu Darda, why you are crying today? It is a happy day for all the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the victory over all the enemies, and they have destroyed them, they have run away, all their wealth is here. You see, why you are crying? And he said, oh, you see, Jubair, you do not understand what happened to them. They were ruling the country, they were living a life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us so many bounties and nemas. You see, they were under the ocean of the nemas and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they become disobedient, you see, when they become rebellion, so what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see, cursed them. And you see, he finished them, and now we are ruling this one. So, oh Jubair, we should not get involved into the sins. So my respecters, my time is over. May Allah be pleased with all of us. It is good for all of us to know that what are the sins. It is said, my respected brother Hassan Basri is saying, that if a person is doing a small sin, but is doing on a consistent basis, every day is doing the same thing, then these sins become major for him. You see, it's not become the minor anyway. It is said that it's very important if a person, you see, is a habit of backbiting, is a habit of lying, is a habit of cheating, is a habit of, you see, stealing, is a habit of, you see, not taking for the eyes, is a habit of the you see, that you see, looking down on the people. So all these things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, so they become on a regular basis, and at the same time he's praying. You see? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in one of the hadiths, man ghashya falaysa minna. The person who cheats somebody, who deceives somebody, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he is not in my ummah. So we can imagine if somebody is doing like this just to become rich here. So how much a person can live here? So that's why it's very important, my respected brother. There is a long list of the kabair, and the long list of, or you see, and the sagair, minor sins. It's about 137 minor sins. You see, I don't have a time to see, but this is, we should know. As a believer, we should learn ourselves, and we should stay away from there. May Allah be pleased with all of us, and guide us to the right path. May Allah strengthen our iman, and make our heart clean for all those, you see, all those sins. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala barik wa Muhammad.